Invading the internet, covering Web 2.0, coast to coast, worldwide, and everywhere in between. This is where you put the social in social media. We are Social Blade.
Yes, this is an excellent episode of Social Blade this week because this is episode number 64. Does everyone know what that means? Let's analyze episode 64 briefly. Let's take a look at this. So 64 would be 8 squared. 8 squared, if you take 8 and add 8 to itself, it becomes 16, and the square root of 16 is 4, and we happen to have 4 co-hosts on the show, including myself, J.D. Rucker. That's the cue.
Yeah.
Including
I got it. Okay.
Co-host.
This by the way, is new Aaron Ryan because
Yeah.
we don't. That was. Did you guys hear that intro? That
Yeah,
didn't
it was
sound
totally
like
different.
Who the hell was that?
I have no idea. But I didn't look like I was ill either or sickly.
Yes.
Or I could
Anyways.
just Zombie Jeff is not there anymore.
Yeah.
Zombie Jeff is gone, and you did just say hell on air. Just telling you.
That's right.
Damn it. And I am one of the 4 co-hosts of the Social Blade Show. My name is J.D. Rucker.
I'm Aaron Ryan.
I'm Jason Ergo.
And I'm Jeff Kreider.
And this is the Cloud Score show, where everyone has to send a tweet to @ZeroBoy
At Ergo.
to at ZeroBoy
At
to
Ergo.
help to help our Cloud Score up @ZeroBoy and
At
at
Ergo.
Ergo. Because last night my team embarrassed me by telling me that my Cloud Score, which I haven't tracked ever, is went from like a 71 down to like a 26. I'm down there with teeth whitening spammers in low Cloutville. So we're going to do a clout bailout campaign, and it starts right now with episode 64. What a week though in social media this has been. There's a lot of ramping up of a lot of sites going on right now. Today's show, we're going to focus on those changes of the week, but as we have started last week and as we will be continuing on into further weeks, this will be a show where we propose new and awesome ideas and actually discuss them in debate-style format and let you, the audience, come to the conclusions that you want to come to as to who is correct and who is incorrect. Last week, despite the power team of Ergo and Rucker going on the what we thought was the right side, the team of Ryan and Kreider were able to persuade one of us to go to their side. So it was a victory for the Crying Riders. Crying Riders. There we go.
Crying Ryan. Crying
I said
Ryan.
after the show. I said after the show last week, I'm like, JD said Kreider and Ryan, and then I started thinking it, and it sounded like crying.
Crying Ryan.
Well, see,
Crying
JD,
Ryan.
you missed
Make
the
you
after
guys
show
cry.
last week. We went on for another hour after the broadcast ended, and it was Aaron and Ergo versus Jeff.
That would have been fun. That would have been fun.
It was Social Blade uncensored,
I could have been
unsheathed. Social Blade unsheathed.
unsheathed. I could have been the equalizer, but instead I was the aborter. I aborted for myself from the show, and then Jeff was on his own, which he's about to be on his own as well. Again, jam-packed week, if I forgot to mention that, as I have to mention it every show, and I forgot if I already said it. Week, jam-packed, check, got that one covered. Okay, so back on to the show. This week, Jeff is going to be talking to us a little bit about his understanding of corporate social media strategy and how to become an actual social media strategist versus just that social media help desk person. Jeff?
Yeah, well, Altimeter released a report this week, written by Jeremiah Aoyang and his team over at Altimeter, and it's called "The Career Path of the Corporate Social Strategist." This emerging role must get ahead of business demands or be regulated to what they call the social media help desk. It basically goes through and really lays out the groundwork of what a social strategist is, and talks about how now corporations have anointed open leaders within their own corporations as social strategists to help social media to connect what their marketing strategy is outside the company, inside the company, internally. It goes on to talk about how there are different career paths of a social strategist. There's the awakening stage, which he describes as customers rapidly adopt these tools. This internal champion rises to answer the call of duty, adopting new technologies on behalf of the corporation while meeting internal resistance. So it talks about how someone coming into a company trying to turn the corporation to really adopt social media, adopt this new online building of relationships and using tools such as Facebook and Twitter to the benefit of traditional marketing strategies. So there are a bunch of career path or steps that go along with the career path: the awakening, the ascension of the corporate social strategist, the storm of culture conflict, and then it branches off. And the report says when you reach a certain port, you can either take the route of the social media help desk or the escape velocity. And what it's saying is the social media help desk, basically what you have done is you have basically stagnated yourself. You haven't continued to innovate. You haven't continued to evolve and to move along. And what you've become is someone who just sits there in response to requests on Facebook and Twitter, who is at the whim of responses and is trying to catch up to requests coming into the business to instead of rather getting ahead of the curve. You're trying to catch up all the time. Now the other path, the escape velocity, says you are developing proactive business programs that get ahead of business and customer requests. They rally internal stakeholders, define requirements in advance, and develop sociable programs that utilize the crowd for marketing, support, and product innovation. As these social strategists continue their career, they'll grow to expand their scope, assisting the end customer along the entire customer journey. Eventually, some social strategists may evolve into new roles that transcend marketing or support. So it talks about the career path of a social strategist. And then it goes into what to look for in a social strategist. What types of hiring requirements do you look for? And one of them is to really not hire a program manager rather than a social media hotshot. It goes into saying, you don't want to just hire someone who is some hotshot in social media and is doing it for his personal brand, because that doesn't always translate well to a business corporation sense. It's seek candidates with a track record of early technology adoption in their careers. The third one is scrutinize how they have used social media in the past. The next one is look for a corporate entrepreneur comfortable with calculated risks. Essentially saying in this industry or in this type of job description, you have to be able to take risks. You have to be able to invent. You have to have initiative. You have to be able to start projects. And it takes an entrepreneurial spirit to really foster those ideas to make them come about. The next is ensure a cultural fit, as the social strategist will tackle change management. Make sure that the social strategist understands the culture and is a good fit for the culture, because that person will have to change the culture within the organization in order to make the entire social strategy synergized. And then he says, find a natural born connector, both internally and externally, and then celebrate those risks by enabling them to fail forward. Essentially saying, you need to find someone who is able to take risks, but if they fail forward, which means they fail in a way that says, okay, what did I learn from this? And what can we do to ensure that this doesn't happen again? The last big thing that they talk about is how social media is structured within corporations. And they talk about there are many different ways you can, basically structure your social media within your company. And there are five different approaches. And one of them is the decentralized, which essentially means that you have democratized it to the entire corporation where there's no real central hub. It means everybody is basically accountable for social media, and you use every single person. There's no one person who does it all. The next one is centralized, where there's an appointed leader or appointed person, and then there's basically a chain of command, essentially, where they are the top dog, and then everything else gets delegated or regulated down. So if a customer request comes in online, I field it, and then it would get passed down to someone else. So there's like one person in charge of the gate, one gate person. Then there's the hub and spoke, which basically says it's a team-oriented thing. So, for instance, if we take the Social Blade team as an analogy, they would Aaron, Ergo, and JD would be there to field the questions, the requests, doing the tweeting, doing the Facebooking, etc. And then the big decision making would be coming down, would centralize to one person. And then there's the multiple hub and spoke, which essentially says there are multiple pods or groups that field questions depending on what sector they're in, and then same with the hub and spoke, it all centralizes into one person. And then the holistic, which means everybody is equal, and there's no difference between them, and it means, I mean, there's no real organization involved. So I would really highly suggest taking a look at this report if you're serious about getting into becoming a social strategist. I've met the guy personally in Vegas. Super smart guy, awesome to talk to, really knows what he's talking about. And the report really puts things clear in a sense, because this job description is something really new, and being able to lay it out and lay the foundation for what is expected of you in kind of the career path, it's fantastic to see that, and really helps in terms of giving this to your boss and saying, hey, this is what we need to be doing. This is how we should organize our business. In the future, when I'm no longer at your business, this is what we need to do to hire someone to, take my place, etc. So, great report. I highly recommend checking it out. And if you have any questions, comments, he's fielding the questions in the comments section on his on the slide share, or just shoot me a tweet or comment, and we can have a discussion about what the report details are. So, have any of you guys taken a look at the report?
Well, I'm looking at it right now, and Jeff, I have a question. These numbers here on these different types of organization, these are the percentages of companies that are doing it in these ways. Is this also
Correct.
reflective on what it really is the best way to do things, or is there really no definitive?
There's no real best way to do it. What they did was they polled a bunch of social strategists from major corporations, Scott Monty being one of them, and at the beginning you'll be able to see who they referenced. But at this point, there's no specific. It really depends on how your business is set up, and determined on how your business is set up is how you should organize communication channels. So, okay. I mean, there's no specific right or wrong way to do it. But I mean, as you see, there's the hub and spoke. I mean, 41% of people polled said that's their preferred way of doing it.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard to scale. I think it's important to come up with some type of strategy, and it's not something that is what's best, which one's best. It's what's best for you and your business, because one of them will work. But I find it interesting because, we started talking about cloud, and basically you need to hire somebody that has the experience and the knowledge and the ability to maintain and keep it going as an entrepreneur kind of personality.
Yeah. I mean, that's true with any position. It's better to get someone that has...
Not necessarily.
What are you saying? Rephrase that.
What am I saying?
Yeah, how it best suits your business. I mean, it really depends on how. Like, for instance, if you do the method that is this centralized, I mean, what happens when that person is gone, or what happens when that person, like we were talking about last week, something happens or they use poor judgment and they're gone. You need to find someone right away to fill that position.
Right, but it depends on what type of business you have, what type of business you run. If it's a small business, there's only 3 of you, and you all have like a share in it. Because people were asking the audience, like, which one is the best one to do? Well, I think it's based on what's best for you and your business. What can you do? How many people can you assign to work on social media and for instance, strategy about?
Yeah, for instance, like a good example of this, I guess it would be Microsoft. So Microsoft, I think, really uses the multiple hub and spoke approach to it, to where they have different sectors. Could you put up the illustration of the multiple hub and spoke there, Ergo?
It's up again.
Okay. Where they have, and that's the one with the 18%, the fourth on the right, where they have their customer service, they have their marketing branch, they would have their computer or they have their Xbox. You know what I mean? Where there are different hubs who are interacting with different niche groups, but it all combines into one centralized thing. So at the end of the day, each pod interacts with itself, but it connects to the main hub at the end of the day. So you have your customer service branch and all these different branches that branch out. So I definitely would say that the size of your company really matters, because our company is our business is like 50 to 100 employees, and we're a mix of centralized and decentralized. To where things come through me, but at the same time we empower our employees to use it as well.
Yeah, I think that is a stronger connection there. If you were able to come up with a strategy that utilizes the whole team and not just one department, because social media is about representing an entire company, and there's different thoughts and opinions and people within that company. So that's the one I would go with, is one that you could try to incorporate more people.
Question from the audience. Question from the audience. Let's say a multinational billion-dollar corporation. What would you suggest?
No, you'd have to do multiple hub and spoke, because you have to have you have to have those hubs, those pods, be able to make decisions for themselves, and then ultimately it all combines into one. But those pods are making decisions off their own. It's the ultimate delegation of all the 5 ways of companies organizing for social media.
We had the opportunity. We had the opportunity of meeting Jeremiah down over in Vegas. Jeff and I did, and it was kind of a funny story, because I'm sitting there and I'm like, hey, how you doing? I'm oh boy. He's like, oh, okay, that's nice. Good to meet you. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. What did he say? He said he had 2,400. Okay, go on.
Yeah, he said your cloud score is only 26. Oh, never mind. So then Jeff walks up, and next thing I know, Jeff is talking to him, and it's like an all-out love fest. Jeremiah's there, like so you're able to do this, and you're able to operate, solely, within as a individual, working solely in social media for a small business. He's like, yeah. He's like, whoa, tell me more. And then so he's giving the keynote at this conference, and he's all mentioning Jeff Kreider, and I'm like, I met you too, but it didn't.
Yeah,
I met you first. You were my friend. No, It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, he's a super guy. I mean, awesome guy. JD wasn't able to make the networking meeting on the first night of the conference, but I showed up, and we talked for like an hour and a half, and he really challenged some of the views that I had, and really tried to push my ideas further, and made me rethink a lot of the stuff that I was doing, instead of just saying, hey, you're doing a good job, this, that. But I mean, he really dug in and really challenged my thought process. And I came away from that hour and a half conversation with so much knowledge and so much gain. I mean, I thought I was on cloud 9.
Yeah.
Cloud 9. Oh, tonight's word is cloud.
But what's interesting is you're sitting there, I was sitting on the couch next to Jeremiah, and JD was sitting on a chair adjacent to him, and he closes his MacBook and says, well, I can't believe that. And what do you mean, Jeremiah? He said, I just finished my 1,200th blog post.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my Lord, are you kidding me? 1,200 blog posts? 2,400, excuse me. 2,400 blog posts. And I said, man, I can't even fathom that many blog posts.
The guy was so interesting, so engaging, and he's beyond an evangelist in the way that his ideas, strategies are very realistic and down to earth, and can actually be applied, as we can see by this article and the story that just documented. This isn't just pie in the sky. Oh, love social media, age of Aquarius on Facebook. He's like, look, this is real stuff. This is how you do it. These are your potential drawbacks. This is the challenges you'll face, and it may work, it may not work. But if you do it right, then you have a better chance of making it work than not. And it doesn't apply to everybody. It's just very, very realistic social media strategist, which is what impressed me the most. He's not. I've seen and listened to too many people who think that that social media is the answer to everything in the world, and
Yeah, he has it in check. He's not someone who gets. You can definitely tell from talking to him that he doesn't go overboard in it, and he is able to check himself. Like, yeah, it's social media, so what? But one of the things that you know, he's able to bring quantitative data to something that's very difficult to bring quantitative data to. Where everything is qualitative, like he actually is backing up. You sat there during his speech and said, yeah, I've been doing that, but here's the quantitative data to back up why I've been doing that. You know, it's been that, it feels right, and I know it feels right, but I don't have that definitive figures to say this is why it's right. And
See, I just
laid all that out.
If it feels right, I go for it. So
can I just say something on behalf of Mike Stinger, who has a sad face in the audience right now, because he was in Vegas and didn't get to see either one of you. So I'm just gonna say that I think right about now I'm Mike's favorite person.
You know what? I got to see Mike plenty in Vegas just on Facebook, not live. But no, it was a missed opportunity. Jeff has of course seen him before, and I have not. So next time, whether it's South by Southwest or wherever, which I did lock in today. Thank you very much. We'll be going to South by Southwest. Woot. So yeah. So we'll woot. So wherever it is, wherever you go, there you are, and I'll be there. I'll be there.
Maybe I'll just have to get Mike a gift. Maybe a gift card or something. A gift card, and I'll send it out to him over Facebook.
You could, and that seems to be the trend nowadays, especially in this upcoming holiday season. Christmas gifts are potentially and very likely going to be a lot more social, in that you'll be able to send gift cards via Facebook. Now, I have to say that I am not one. I will occasionally hop in and say happy birthday to people on Facebook, but for the most part, I do not believe in the whole Facebook. The concept that Facebook is a good tool to replace other interactions. Like, I would much rather call a person or something like that rather than try to go to Facebook and send them stuff. But with that said, let's face it, Facebook is where everybody is. It's where our friends are, our colleagues, our anybody that we would want. And so why not utilize it for something that could be very positive, such as giving Christmas gifts? And that's the concept that is being played out right now. A lot of these companies, including Sears, Kmart, Starbucks, Amazon, they're preparing to allow you to go friend to friend with gift exchanges of cards that can be utilized on Facebook. And it's I don't want to state the obvious and jump on the bandwagon of, oh, it's not personal if you don't go out and pick a gift out and wait in line and buy it, and I'm not that old. But I will say that social media as a gifting tool is as anti conversion over to Facebook as I am when it comes to these kind of things. I have to admit that this one is kind of compelling. It's something that wow, this can actually save time. This can help you to stay organized and make sure that everybody gets treated equally, that nobody's going to not like their gift, and all that good stuff. So I'm cool with it. I probably am not going to do it myself. I prefer to go out and get lottery tickets as gifts for everybody. So you never know when you give them $1 million gift. But that was a joke. You were all supposed to laugh.
No, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, well, no, but I have, and I wouldn't ever do it again. Didn't go over very well. So they're all looking at me. What was this? So yeah, I mean, I probably won't do it myself, but I would not mind if everyone who watched this show were to send me a Christmas gift card via Facebook. You're definitely allowed. I won't hold it against you. What do you guys think? Are you going to be taking advantage of this? I'm going to start with Erin, because she is probably the most likely to see this as a very positive thing. What do you think, Erin?
I do see it as a positive thing. I don't think I'm going to use it. However, as we get into our conversation later, I think this is an innovative way of getting people to give gifts online rather, and be able to connect with people more. I don't know.
I think it makes it perfect for people you don't interact with. Like, if I want to send you guys Christmas gifts or holiday gifts, I can send you a gift card over Facebook.
Hold on. Did he just say people you don't interact with?
No, people you don't have physical contact with on a daily basis.
Physical, yeah. Okay.
I guess if you're
geographically.
Do you have to install an app to get the gift card?
No.
No.
Excellent.
No, and that's the funny part of that. Yeah, hey, I was looking for it. I wanted to find the holes in it, and there apparently are none, and that's both a good and a bad thing. I now listening to Jeff, Mr. Compelling, has just pointed out that yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I guess if you're going to be either mailing something or Facebooking it, does it really matter that you're sending postage? Is it safer to send versus the mail, which may come at the right time, may not come at the right time? Last minute gifts. Oh crap! Forgot about Aunt Rosie. Hop on. Oh, I got her on Facebook. Boom, done. Bought her a gift. She can now go to Kmart and get more dog food and toiletries. So yeah, I see it as a definitely a potential good thing.
So,
Well,
yeah.
hold on.
Hold on.
I have
Where
a
does it
question.
stop, though?
I may actually use
Jeff,
it.
Jeff, do you commit
What?
to send all 723?
That's exactly what I was about to say. Was if you start sending this is the thing,
723
it's like,
friends is what you
it
have on
opens
there.
up to this whole guilt trip. If I start sending, things to you, where does it stop? Like,
Oh, that's
do
true
I-
because it's
you know
going to
what I
be
mean?
public, isn't it?
Yeah, because
You
it's
said
gonna be
the
public
gift.
info. So people are saying, okay, well, why didn't Jeff send it to me? It's this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Oh
good.
man, I think.
Oh,
Do
there's gonna
you think that's gonna partner?
there's going to be some
Do you
some
think that's
ticked off
the
people.
reason why they're starting to do it?
I
I do.
think it'll be great to see the statistics after this starts rolling out more and more, because it'll be great to see if more people are buying due to that fact, because it does come down to our empathy, and that's why we've there's scientific proof that we've all flooded towards social media. But in regards to like Christmas gifts and things like that, that's where we get a little sentimental, and that's where we get, oh, I feel guilty because I sent it to this person and not that person. It will be interesting to see, but I think it's an innovative way moving forward for not just Facebook, but for everybody. And it does bring us closer together, because you don't have to worry about having to drop it off at the post office or the postage stamp, like JD was saying. Having to worry about the fee and is it going to get there on time?
But I really
Yeah.
do think I really do think there's a part in this that says we need to, as companies, we need to get into this because it'll start guilt tripping people into giving more.
Oh no, you're absolutely right there. I think that's absolutely true. You see someone giving something, you're more likely to give something as well.
Well, I interact with that person all the time. I should get a gift card.
Man, okay, so let's get to the important question here. What am I getting for Christmas, Jeff?
I already told you. Kmart toiletries.
Oh, that was for me. Okay. We don't have Kmart, just saying.
Well, then I guess you'll have to send it back.
Darn it.
No, I think that let's assume that first off that this is being the first year of it. We may or may not see mass adoption. This may be something where it could be a bandwagon thing because people will be able to, companies will be able to say, that's a good idea. I wonder if I could do this. So we're at least one. It may happen big time this year. It may end up being something that gets pushed off till next year because there's not enough mass adoption. But we'll see, and I really do hope, depending upon the vendors that depending upon the vendors that are or the stores that are offering this, I would say that there's a potential that I may end up breaking down and taking advantage of this just to save on postage, save on last minute gifts and all that good stuff. Now the real question is going to come down to, is this going to be something where, because this has always been my concern, Facebook being what it is and having privacy and security issues in the past, are we really going to want to do e-commerce from there? And I don't think they've really established themselves as a secure place to start inserting your credit card or PayPal information. So that part is a little bit worrisome.
Yeah, but where we get trapped is that we feel like it's like our home. It's a safe place. We talk to our friends. It's comfy. So I don't know if that's going to prevent people, but you're right. That's a good thing to bring up. Is it going to be safe?
Where's Admiral Akbar when you need him? It's a trap! It's a trap!
That's a good one.
Which brings us to our next story.
Wait, not yet. I have some breaking news to interrupt you real quick. Just wanted to throw in because I would be remiss if I did not mention it. Since I mentioned some breaking Digg news on last night's drill down, I should note that there was a big change today. That the right sidebar is now cluttered with the breaking news section for Digg, and these are staff picks. In other words, the staff is going in there and picking out stories. This is kind of a way for the staff to be able to say, or for Digg to be able to say, look, we can't seem to get Wired and Boing Boing and all these other sites on the front page. Naturally, they're not getting enough digs. And we tried to do some quote unquote testing to DD10, DD11, DD12 accounts, and then we got busted by Panda on that one. So, you know what? We're just going to come out and say it. Look, here's staff picks. Look at this story by whatever. There's a raw story up there right now. It's a day and an hour old. 47 digs it has on hit, but there is one. The last at least well, at least the last 2 stories that have hit the front page have been from there, and pretty much anything that's been put up there by the staff has been hitting or coming close to hitting.
Yeah, wait a minute.
So,
Why are they breaking news if it's 1 day, 1 hour, 10 hours, 14 minutes?
I know and they're definitely going to have to change that. That's kind of silly. I guess to take away from the fact these are staff picks, call it breaking news. But I don't know if a picture of a girl wearing an R2D2 thing is really considered breaking news.
Yeah.
But it is a staff pick, and it did make the front page as a result. So
I don't like that.
whatever.
Oh my! Look, Android phone solves the Rubik's Cube in 12.5 seconds. That's breaking news.
Broken.
I don't like that use. I think it's abusing the word, and we're going to become, well, some people. I mean, we need to take breaking news seriously, right? Am I right?
Like the boy that cried wolf.
Here you go.
It's the boy that cried wolf.
Twitter.com/breaking news. This is breaking news if it loads.
When it's not
Well,
breaking.
and at least
break
we
it
can
somewhere.
we can definitely say that it's fair and balanced. They did take a story that was 14 hours old with 2 digs called Repeal of the 26th Amendment by Ann Coulter, Town Hall Conservative, and it was selected by a member of the staff. So the GOP has representation at Digg currently, something that we would never have known before. Now, yes, it is sitting right there under this R2 unit is a good motivator. I'm not even going to click on it. I can tell by the thumbnail that it's not the kind of story that I would ever click. But anyway, so quick breaking news. Just take a look. I think that this may be a good
Was
move
that
because-
really breaking news, or? Because I don't know. Digg's got me confused now.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
Breaking news. There's breaking news.
All I know is you ruined my transition from It's a Trap to Aaron's story.
I
Yeah,
know
I
it
know.
was so awesome, and
I was about to go for 2 for 2, and
Yeah.
you basically stifled my efforts.
I
It's
know.
a trap.
Double
Just-
it.
Let's do it over again. Let's start again.
Okay.
So,
Rewind.
So Facebook security issues and people with money on Facebook with PayPal and credit cards, and they might be saying Admiral Akbar with Jeff saying
It's a trap.
which is funny because that's kind of what Google is warning Facebook users, right, Aaron?
That's right, JD.
It just wasn't as good. Just go with it. Jeff's
I'm
was
gonna
I
much.
go.
remembered my line though.
At least you remember his line. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. At least you remember your line. And speaking of lines, Google is trying to put Facebook in line with showing them that they are still king or queen, depending on how you look at it, of the interwebs by telling them that you cannot import our data into your site without us giving our users fair warning. And this has been going back and forth this week. They've been blocking services from importing data, and Facebook making an end run with Google and deep linking directly to a contact exporter on Google. So, naturally, these two giants have to retaliate against one another. And Google, I don't know, has kind of taken a little step forward. And now when you go to connect, and we all do it, especially those who first sign up to Facebook, when you go to see which friends in your Google contacts are on Facebook or get them to come and join Facebook by just that simple connect through your Gmail account, you will now receive a little note. Well, it's kind of long, but I'm going to summarize it here, from Gmail. It starts with "Trap my contacts now." That's the subject line. And I'm just going to quickly just read it to you, the shorter version. Hold on a second. Are you super sure you want to import your contact information for your friends into a service that won't let you get out? Here's the not so fine print. You have been directed to the page from a site that doesn't allow you to re-export your data to other services, essentially locking up your contact data about your friends. So once you import your data there, you won't be able to get out. We think this is an important thing for you to know before you import your data there. Although we strongly disagree with this data protectionism, the choice is yours because after all, you should have control over your data, and basically gives you the opportunity to register a complaint against protectionism or proceed with exporting the data, which I think is hilarious because it sounds like a childhood fight on the elementary playground between Google and Facebook. And right now Google is firing back with this, and they're still giving us the control and basically putting down Facebook. But we all have discussed, many times why Facebook uses our data, and we all choose to allow Facebook to use our data. And here's another example. And the funny thing is that today Facebook went live with an announcement about their new messaging system. So maybe that's a way of them counteracting with improving their email system within Facebook. A little bit of a slap on the wrist back at Google. Unsure of that, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it's childish, this going back and forth between Facebook and Google?
I do. I'm also wondering why JD is showing us a president, but anyway, it's distracting me. Yeah.
Money.
Yeah. Okay. I think this is pretty stupid. I agree with Google that Facebook might not be handling our data correctly, but it's absolutely stupid that they would try to block something like this to allow the ability to get a contact list coming out of it to match up friends on some service. And that goes for any service whatsoever. There should be a way to be able to parse data back and forth. So I don't side with Facebook very often in these type of things, but I absolutely side with Facebook on this one.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm siding, because I'm usually all for Facebook. But I think it's childish, and I think that, they're two giants for their own reasons, and they try hard, and we know that Google tries to get into the social networking and often fails, and Facebook tries to get into the search and the messaging and often fails. So hopefully they'll be able to recognize this is what we're good at, we're going to grow and continue to do this, because, they've had many fail attempts, unfortunately.
Well,
so
it still maintains it kind of consistent with the way Google operates, in the fact that they have that unofficial motto of don't be evil, and it just goes back to I guess trying to educate people and for them to fully understand what Facebook does with the data you give it. But at the same time, I think with them trying to launch Google Me here shortly.
Absolutely.
It's trying to set the platform for that.
Yeah.
Basically saying we're not going to be giving you the opportunity to link your contacts to Facebook. Oh, by the way, here's Google Me, and when you delete your profile, all your information is completely gone. So I think this is a stepping stone of educating people to when they launch Google Me and basically exploiting Facebook's problem with their privacy issues.
Yeah, a lot of people know about Facebook's issues with privacy, and I don't even know if it's an issue anymore, because we all still continue to use it willingly and knowingly. So, Google's just kind of a little too late in that game to be like, hey, you're giving your information away. It really is just a nana type of moment, in my opinion.
Well, I don't think it's never too late. It's never too late for anything like that. All you need is, a strong group of people to rise up and influence others, and then, Facebook has a small issue on their hands. But it's never. I don't think it's ever too late. Yeah, even if you have, 200,000 people quit Facebook, it's a blip on the radar.
Well, I think almost 30,000 people quit Facebook on the well-publicized Quit Facebook Day. So I don't think that they'll get to 200,000 even, which would be, approximately less than 0.4% of the current Facebook population.
Yeah, you're just wasting your time.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So. I'm sorry. I was going to let Jeff. You've been doing so well in transitions. I figured that you were going to take the next one, but I'll let me do a seamless segue that nobody even notices is happening. How's that?
Okay, that's good.
So the next story is by Ergo, and it's called. I'm just kidding.
By Ergo.
What a seamless segue. Twitter plus TV creates social viewing. This story is going to be covered by Jason Ergo. Segue complete. Now carry on with the story.
Wow. For all of that mess, you should actually give me a segue. How about that?
There you go.
Yeah.
Whoops, I got to move this down. By the way, for those who want to know, that is actually Jeff Kreider there in the center of my view. Not the person that just went through the screen, but sitting at that table, and the one that just moved in this chair, that's Jeff.
There I am, right there in the
He's
Is that what
center.
he says?
yes,
Oh,
he is
Oh.
doing
that's me.
a panel debate about Facebook as of all things. So, so yeah, good stuff there.
Excellent. Anyway, yeah, Twitter. If you use Twitter at all, you probably have seen people talking about TV shows in the past. And really, this story here, there was a conference, New TV, which is owned by Giga OM. I think that's how you say that. They had a conference where they just had a whole bunch of people talking about different media things. So it made sense that Twitter was in there as well. But it actually, one of the interesting things that I didn't know about was, if you use Twitter, you see that it has the trending topics on the the right side of the screen here, and a lot of times people try to use trending topics to get their own cause promoted or whatever. But I wasn't even aware that there's some TV shows. There's 106 in Park, I think it's called, that a lot of these things that you see here that sound weird very often, that make no sense, or it's little run-on sentences like I never have, or something like that. 106 in Park actually on their TV show there is using Twitter as part of the show, and they sort of by using a trending topic and getting something to trend, they get added exposure there. So Twitter is saying that today people are even using the service to broaden the audience for TV viewing. And they had some let's see, I think one of these graphs here, this one here, I think was showing the Dancing with the Stars, I think, and how on Twitter it was spiking at different times. And I don't have the graph handy at the moment, but they even showed one particular day and how you could see on Twitter spikes of traffic at different times over the course of the day when different things happened on the show, and how you can see that on the East Coast it was way higher in activity, and then on the West Coast it was a little lower, mostly because news happens on Twitter so quickly that everyone knew about these moments by the time it aired on the West Coast. And just showing really how people use it here. And I don't know what else to say. It's becoming a part of society, and they were even comparing it to a new form of 3D TV, that it's taking it into another dimension here, that so many people are using Twitter along with watching TV shows that it's adding a whole new experience to it. And networks should not only acknowledge it, but should embrace it, and it'll help ratings as well.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, our very own, not our very own, but a guest on the show, and our good friend Amy Vernon had participated for a long time in a very similar group pertaining to 24, the show 24 when it was on the air. And I think that if they could go back and quote unquote do it all over again, that Twitter may have been the better venue for this, because you're able to take like-minded people and discuss what's happening live. I know that I've only done it myself during like sporting events like Super Bowl. I was participating. Oh, and we did it. I did it with Andy Sorsini for the Oscars, I think last year, and it can be fun because you can actually sit there and follow threads and be involved, and as they drop a bunch of opinions about what's happening. I know that Twitter is serious business when it comes to breaking news, but even as we socialize and we enjoy our lives from a what's it called, a television and entertainment watching perspective, even then, technically speaking, I mean, this is breaking enough news to where I think that Twitter is relevant.
Well, I think it was Mike Stinger, actually. I think earlier today when Conan debuted his show, I think tweeted, it's great that Conan's embracing Twitter, because I think it's actually helping in his ratings. And Mike brought up that point, and how Conan over these past couple months has actually embraced Twitter, and how Mike believes that it has actually helped him in his ratings.
I think from any venue, if you're embracing social media and you're connecting with people, that's what we want. That's exactly why social media is so popular, and why people, take it so seriously personally, and, in some cases for businesses. But I think on any venue, whether it's, entertainment, celebrity, if they're allowing people that, normally just could only see them from a one angle side, which was through entertainment news or, you know, in the movie or TV show that they love them in. And if they're able to actually talk to them, or, you know, some cases think that they're talking to them, they feel like, oh, we have a special connection. And so they want to tune in the next time. So that would be really smart for networks to start really taking it seriously. I mean, I know at Blog World when Mark from Survivor, the creator of Survivor, he was talking about, you know, he wants to preview YouTube on his new show on TLC with Sarah Palin on YouTube, and he brought that to TLC, and they were like, "Are you crazy?" Because it's so against what they're used to. But they did end up allowing him to do that, and that's what I think that, you know, more TV networks are going to start doing, is start thinking outside of that television box and where else they can find their viewers.
Well, because I think what you see here, especially with TV, is it's a one-way street. It's a medium that only has one source of feed, or it shoots a communication channel, and there's no feedback. But what's happening now is, you know, the feedback is happening on Twitter, on Facebook, it's happening online. So you can essentially watch a medium like television that doesn't have that two-way street of communication, and turn it into something interactive. And that right there, if TV can embrace that, it will make TV, what it is now, the schedule, the set aside with the appointment scheduling, last longer than it should.
Mm-hmm. And that brings us to our next topic, because I mean, what are the future digital innovations that we think could happen or would like to happen? We asked this yesterday on Facebook, and we got a response from one of our viewers, kind enough. Latitude theory, and this is really cool. We went over this answer, and it was like really awesome. So the question was, what do you think the future will be for digital innovations? What would you like to see? Latitude theory said biometric awareness in a jukebox, which automatically pulls user data within any given establishment, bar, diner, etc., from all patrons' social media input, Blip.fm, Pandora, Last.fm, Grooveshark, etc. Then selects and plays a list of commonly enjoyed songs, which will be democratically popular unless someone actually inserts money into the machine to pay for their song being played first.
Wow.
That was a well thought out answer, I think.
That's actually relatively brilliant.
Yeah, I think that was. I think we were really joking when we read that. I said I was gonna copy paste it and delete it and ban them from Social Plate and take the idea.
Yes.
Just joking. I'm not gonna.
Like, bad, Jeff. Bad.
I'm not gonna Zuckerberg you.
Oh, you were kidding?
Oh yeah.
Oh jeez. I'm sorry. Can we get him to repost it?
Yeah, we were joking about getting zucked.
Yeah. No, that is a really cool idea. That, you know, just has to be some way that information would be shared, either your phone or whatever. But no, that's a really good idea. That there's nothing really bad to say about it.
Well, no, it does. You can say that, you know, that when you start getting into that much data being transferred, biometric data is something that it's actually a very controversial potential topic.
I wouldn't say biometric. It would be better to do it just, you know, proximity with a phone or something rather than biometric.
Well, I mean, even then, you know, regardless of where they're getting the data, it's still biometric data based upon association to. So if you start, that we could go on for hours, and so we're not going to go that way. I will say it's a good idea. There is one potential drawback that we're not going to discuss because now you're tapping into a point of privacy and anger.
It's Minority Report.
Within the boy, exactly. Oh, wow. Down, oh boy, down. Okay, so yeah, no, that's a great idea. Any others, please discuss them and tell us your ideas right now live. If you're in the audience and not watching the recording, tell us what you think.
If you're watching the recording, leave it in the comments too.
But... tell us.
Yeah, well, I actually had lunch today with Vicky O'Neill. Her Twitter handle is Vicky O'Neill, and she does advertising on mobile. But we had lunch today, and we were getting into the conversation. She asked me the question where I thought this space was going, and I told her that it was funny she asked because it was the topic of our debate tonight, our discussion tonight. And I told her that I think the way things are leading is into social social gaming, into interactive. She asked, did I think location-based was the next biggest thing? And I said, no, I don't think that I don't. It's too obvious. And we've discussed here many times that it's the least obvious thing, or the thing you would least expect to happen, that becomes the biggest. And I said, right now, to me, gaming is something. The interaction is something that I can view as something being least expected right now, but I can see it happening. And I showed her an example of this occurring. I said, how great would it be if Coca-Cola comes up with this interactive game where you go online and you play this game, whatever the interaction may be, but you rank up points, you rank up credits, you rank up loyalty points, something. So you take those loyalty points and you bring it to your mobile phone in the form of this coupon. Okay, so let's say you go out to buy a 24 pack of Coca-Cola. You take it to checkout. Because you are ranked in the top percentile in the leaderboard, you get the highest discount. So let's say you get like $15 off that 12, or you get it almost for free. Or let's say you get it for free because you are out of thousands and thousands of people, you're in the top 10. You scored in the top 10.
Social coupons.
Yeah, basically that. But you get it through the interaction of the brand in some sort of game. So let's say I'm holding a Super Bowl party in February, and I'm like, oh man, I need tons of pop. Well, I better play this game real quick. So you play the game, and you rank in the top of the leaderboard for that week, and you get that coupon. But where it comes in is because everyone is going to be trying to do that during the Super Bowl because they want to get that same coupon. So you have this whole brand interaction of people trying to get cheap stuff through interaction.
Well, there's two things to that, because More Banter says, look at all the scanning and checking apps, and that's what I already thought of. But he's talking about playing an actual game.
No.
However,
playing an actual game to get a coupon. So let's say I'm in the top 10 percentile of, or the 90th percentile of this game, and I have the highest score. I get my Coke for free, but you're in the low bracket, and you only get a $2 coupon. See what I'm saying?
Right, but how many people will take part if they know that they're fighting against a lot of people? Right, so if you're looking at the Super Bowl,
it's pretty much unwinnable.
No, but it's the same.
Like,
it's this. Say, okay, let's put it in auto.
It's
say
basically
I'm in the market for a car. Let's say Ford or any automaker out there has this game. Well, all these people are competing against each other to get this high score for a week because everyone wants a car cheap. So let's say you. I
think it would have to be a little bit more niche, like not so broad.
Yeah,
but I see where you're going. It's a good idea.
You basically have the same odds of opening up the soda cat. Well, yeah, that too. But the discount things or whatever. You open up the cap and it says you win $100 on it or whatever. When you have that many people, it comes down to the same thing that most people won't get anything out of it. And it's not worth their time.
I think the future digital innovations is going to be with vehicles, and I say that because even if you look at commercials now, although they're not getting more social, which I totally think they should, but they are getting more digital in vehicles. And, looking at Sync with Ford, as well as, I think it's with Nissan Cruise, they have, I don't know if it's the Cruise, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's it's Chevrolet that has you cut off the gas line when you get into a car accident. Do you guys know about that?
No.
As soon as your airbags deploy, your gas line gets cut off, you get, emergency contact, all of that stuff. So I think
will it auto tweet out, I crashed?
Damn it. That was my joke. Continue.
Help!
Post on Facebook.
I think that's where it's going.
Send an ambulance.
On Star Plus. No, it's more than that. They're looking at ways for us to be able to tweet while we're driving without having to actually use our hands. They're looking for ways to get social.
But see, that's too obvious.
I don't think that's too obvious. I think that's
what I'm saying is, yeah, but that's thinking like next year. Where do you think it's going to be in 5 years, 10 years?
But the future
I have to. Well, no. But I think what we're talking about is we're trying to bring up because that is actually what you just described, Aaron. Is Ford is developing that now. They have been for about like 6 months. The whole tweeting and doing social interaction from your vehicle and allowing it to handle it for you hands free. It's pretty neat. I think what we're saying is, we're looking for those innovations that are above and beyond anything that we're imagining today. Think of it like this: if you were to say 4 years ago, okay, 4 years ago, you would walk up to somebody and say, you know what? In 2010, people are going to have phones. These phones, those smartphones, very similar to iPhone because it's around the time when iPhone came out. The iPhone is going to be able to take your geolocation, and you'll be able to check in to these various places that you go. And this will send out on Twitter, Facebook, and just let everybody know. Now, at the time, I think that most people would have said that's probably not going to work because who wants to be stalked? Who wants to announce to everyone else what's going to happen? Where they are. Hey, I'm at Kmart right now buying toiletries with the Facebook gift card that JD sent me. So you can go to my house and rob me if you want. It would have been crazy. No, nobody will ever do that, right? Well,
right.
Now it is. Now it's
that's
reality.
that's what I'm trying to say, though. I'm talking about, yes, these are okay. What's innovative to you is not going to be innovative to me. We're going to have different opinions on that. Then secondly, that's where I think it's going to happen is within the automotive industry. I don't know exactly what it is, but because of all these things that they're starting to do and take into account, I honestly didn't think that there was going to be a time in the near future that we were going to be able to tweet while driving legally.
Yeah, you watched the Ford special last night. They were talking about doing it. They have the technology to do it.
What I would love to see is a reverse of that. I would love to see an innovation that worked where when you buy a car, your car gets its own Twitter and Facebook account. Okay, let's just say Twitter account. We'll take Facebook out of the equation. Your car gets its own Twitter account, and Ford will tweet you based upon your geolocation and an attachment to where it knows how many miles you traveled. It'll tweet your Twitter account, and you can also attach it to your own personal Twitter account and let you know when it's time to get your checkup or your 30,000 mile maintenance, or let you know that your tires probably need to be replaced, or or something like that, or even let you know now is a good time because your car is currently based upon the miles and age of your car, it's probably worth this much money, and it will be worth less in 4 months when the next model year comes out. So you might want to consider trading it in now. Scott, Monty, if you're listening, you know where you heard it first, baby.
That's pretty cool. But Yoon actually said this a little while ago in the chat room. This is one that I was thinking of also. You guys know the old Choose Your Own Adventure books, right? How about Choose Your Own?
I'm not old enough for those.
Okay. How about Choose Your Own Adventure movies? Now you can do this somewhat on YouTube even already, but it's not really. Because YouTube is so slow, at least going from video to video, it doesn't work so well. But I think in another few years, this is going to work a lot better. And you can actually have like huge productions and actually really control in I guess it's almost like a video game at that point. But I really choose in that type of a way what your multimedia experience will be in a movie type form. So
I was in London a couple years ago. And I was at the Museum of Science, and there was actually a display there, and it was talking about these contact lenses that basically you put them in your eyes, and it's like a HUD display.
That's
where
awesome.
you have them in your eyes. There's a control that goes with it, but you can do basic things like switching your vision to night vision, infrared, etc. But it also allowed you to play games. Like it was almost like these Pac-Man games where like these little balls were out in front of you and you had to like follow the balls.
That's
and
awesome.
it was like Pac-Man. But think of it like this, man. Like it
watch
this
out
whole
you
HUD
don't walk
display,
into a car.
What?
Just watch out so you don't walk into a car.
Yeah, but imagine this HUD display where it's connected to your mobile device or something, but you're walking by a restaurant and there's like a little chat window that pops up and it shows you the rating of the restaurant. And then you're able to view the stuff.
You can do that on your phone right now, but obviously it's not nearly as good. I know, I understand.
Freaking eyes.
I can't remember what's that term called.
This was actually an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. It was the first episode that Ashley Judd was a co-star. She was the love interest of the young Wesley Crusher. So yeah, they had the things and they zapped your eyes. They weren't contacts. Actually zapped your eyeballs and you could see the little Pac-Man things and you sucked them in and it was like a drug. It was amazing.
They
Um, what
No,
you're talking
but
about
but
is
but
it's
what I'm talking about is this whole interaction that you don't need a device. It's in your display. Like it's
Yes.
your eyes. Like you're able to like you'd be able to put your Twitter feed like in your vision and
Yes.
all that stuff, or you'd be able to see someone's
A retina
hold
display
on,
is what it's
hold
called.
on, hold on. So I can imagine just sitting there. Watch this. So you're sitting there, right? You're just kind of sitting there, standing there like this. Somebody comes up to you. Somebody comes up to you and you say, "Man, can you see I'm tweeting?"
Yeah, see, this is the thing, right? Like that. I guess this all creeps me out. I'm not there yet. I think I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't
No,
want.
but
I think we will
how?
lose connection. I
No,
think
but
there's a
how?
part.
That's what people, Aaron. That's what people said with cell phones, with the telephone, with the
I know,
TV,
this
with
This
the
is why
radio.
this is exactly what we're talking about. The least expected things.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not going to do that. It happens.
I'm not saying that we are not going to do it. I'm sure we will, and 1,000 other things. But I guess I'm at the point where it's like
Bluetooth
there's got to be a
headsets.
certain point where we cut it off, where we say, okay, this is really as much as we think we're getting connected. There is going to be a point in social media where it's going to be like, okay, we thought we were going really social there, but actually it disconnected us.
Well, I've got
You
this
know,
idea.
with our eyes, but we're not looking at each other in each other's eyes anymore.
I'm
is
gonna
what
I'm gonna start this company called Skynet, and I'm gonna create these machines, the artificial intelligence, and then over time they'll just take over the world.
I
How
love
about
it.
that?
Well, okay, so here's my excellent stuff there. My big bold prediction. I say that by 2014, with an outside chance that it could happen in 2012, that social media will be a valid and acceptable venue for voting in public elections. The reason I
Mm-hmm.
suggest this, right now, everybody I've spoken to has said, no, it's too insecure, too gameable. Think about it like this. So right now, if you register to vote, you get to go down. You have to go down to the registrar. You got to go or wherever. You got to go. Not the registrar. You have to go to the depending upon what state you're in, could be the DMV,
Firehouse.
wherever you go. Yeah, you go someplace to register to vote, and you can register for an absentee ballot. You'll be able to mail in your vote. And people are thinking that's secure. That is no more secure than what could be created based upon PIN numbers and activation codes. You should be able to, by 2014 at the latest, potentially 2012, you should be able to go to let's say just out of current state of social media, go to Facebook and log into a voting app, plug in your code, which is a unique code that you get by physically walking or going to the voting place. You have this one code. It's unique. You have to have it verified through your email address. Go through all these different processes. But people say, well, that's not secure. It is no less secure than sending in your vote via mail. It is no less secure than getting a card that supposedly shows who you are, that anyone else could actually take, create a fake ID, blah blah blah. With printers today, there is no such thing as voting that is absolutely secure. Now the thought process is, yeah, but hackers, they can alter votes in bulk. They can do that now. Okay,
Mhm.
they can do that
I
now
agree
based
with you.
upon so many things. So we might say that's a crazy, stupid, rucker idea, but I am making the bold prediction this on 11/11/2010 on episode number 64, because 64 square root is 8. Never mind. Episode number 64 of the Social Blade Show. I say that by 2014, at the latest, 2012 as a potential, I'd say give it a 50-50 chance that we will be able to vote online via either social media or some variation thereof. And yeah.
Facebook. Facebook's going
Well,
to
I
be
mean,
all over that.
it actually, and it's, as much as I don't want it to happen, it's probably the most likely case. It would probably be voting sites, but even with voting sites, you don't have that. What Facebook would offer that a voting site would not is the already pre-existing dedicated a profile that would apply to that would basically be utilizable to be able to vote via Facebook. Would need to be verified via a cell phone number. The the Facebook itself, you'd have to log in while you're at the voting place with your ID, so that you can establish this is the Facebook account that I'll be voting from. You will give me a one PIN number, and then the second PIN number will be mailed to my mailing address. I will be voting myself, and there's no way that that can be hacked, because you need three different aspects of basically three different things that would need to occur for the vote to be registered. You'd have to physically go there. You need the PIN number. Then you'd also need the mailed-in PIN number, and then the registration via Facebook would have to be verified as an accurate singular Facebook account for just you, and that's your only Facebook account. Blah blah blah. I think it's going to happen. I think it makes sense. I think it will save money, and I think that in reality, we have the opportunity to have a more accurate vote if done electronically via Facebook than we would through voting machines, voting mail-in ballots, and all this, paper ballots. No hanging chads on Facebook, I assure you.
I think we should have Ryan Seacrest involved in people text in their vote.
Yeah. So you trust Facebook then to not alter your vote and not skew it the way that they want it to go?
You would know. First off, for it to work with Facebook, it would have to be an aspect of Facebook that was monitored by the government. It wouldn't be anything that you would not be able to trust Facebook with anything. I don't trust Facebook with any information that I don't want known publicly.
So that brings up two things then. First off, would Facebook want the government to interfere with their business? And
yes.
Two, would you want the government interfering with a private company like Facebook?
Yes, not interfering. Don't forget, this is by invitation only. Hold on. When you say interfering, we're talking about via Facebook app. The government could do that today if they wanted to already. I mean, the government could go out, create a Facebook app, and put it out there and say, "This is your U.S. government big brother app. Please install it to all your Facebook pages," and people would still do it. So it's not whether Facebook would care. Facebook would first off would want it, because anything that they can use to establish to better deeply embed themselves into our day-to-day and ongoing lives, they're all for it. I assure you. From the government's perspective and what we wanted. No, I mean, you're saying get involved with private companies, but they're already using private companies. There is no government agency that creates voting machines. There is no government agency that sets aside these venues. These venues maybe have to be approved by the government, but there's still private companies that are involved in aspects of voting, and they have just as much. Just because it's online and not brick and mortar doesn't make it any less obtrusive. I mean, I see what you're saying, Jason. You're right. We may be opening a whole separate can of worms, but it's not the kind of can of worms that couldn't be opened with or like voting may be a trigger point, but it would not be a conduit, if that makes any sense. There's already enough opportunity for the government to do it as it is.
And the government's not going to be staying off of social networks for very much longer. They get into everything. So, I mean,
absolutely.
It's only going to be inevitable, but I think it's still going to be a choice. I agree with you wholeheartedly. More Bander says, "Really, oh boy, really?" I see that happening for sure, and I think more people will vote, especially younger people will vote. Probably
and then again, keep in mind, I am not. Let me be very clear. I am not promoting this. I am not suggesting that I even want this. What I'm saying is I think it will happen.
JD, we've been running a little poll of our own here. It doesn't matter if it's secure or not, but we were asking, voting via Facebook, the options were horrible idea, great idea, unsure, or it's okay, but I wouldn't use it. And it looks like the vast majority of our audience says that it's really not a great idea. Horrible idea has the most votes. Coming in second was it's okay, but I wouldn't use it. And actually, it's now tied with great idea. And then a couple of people were unsure as well. Oh, wait, hold on. Unsure just took over. So great idea is losing out on votes here.
The bottom line is, again, this isn't something I want to make very clear, just because I don't want to not get retweets and go even lower in my clout score. I don't agree with this. All I am don't hate the messenger. I'm just telling you that the way that things are going, just as we had no idea that we would be Foursquaring or Facebook placing our way into to stalkerism. A few years ago, we also could not imagine today going to Facebook or another website, not necessarily Facebook, but let's say a social media site or another website to register our votes, that online voting will likely be a reality within 4 years. That is just because of if you allow voting by mail, then you almost have to allow voting by online based upon certain, because it's just more, you can secure that more easily than you can voting by mail. You know, anyone who has ever seen the movie Castaway knows that not all mail gets to its destination.
That's true.
All right. Well, that brought everything to a screeching halt. Everybody went all silent and somber.
I think you slowed my roll, man.
I didn't mean to. Hey, I'm just the conduit. Sorry. Okay. So, wow. It's everybody's depressed now.
No, man, we're so much to think about.
We're depressed about the future.
I know, and the thing is that as depressed as we are today, because I mean, I was completely against Foursquare. I really was. 2 years ago, when I first heard about what the whole idea of location-based social media, I thought, wow, what an awful idea. This is going to get people killed. This is going to get people robbed. People are gonna flock to this, and it's got to fail because it needs to fail because it's a bad idea. And now, I'm sitting here. Oh wow, I just had an awesome salmon. What did I Foursquare today? Salmon panini, and from some restaurant. It's like, yeah, okay, so I got sucked in. We probably will all be sucked into some variation of social media advancement that we couldn't even imagine today. We couldn't conceive of today. In a couple of years, it's going to be dominating our consciousness. That's the way that the technology and social media seems to be heading. What other innovations do we have? Somebody. Are there any like happy?
Well, I want to hit on the gaming thing a little more. Like,
there we go. Gaming is fun.
No. But do you guys think that is a viable way of the future?
Well, there's a video out.
Because
there's a video.
Jeremiah, when I was at the cocktail hour with Jeremiah, he brought his friend Kenny Lauer, who's the vice president of digital experience at George P. Johnson. His whole job is associated with creating an online interactive experience and making sure that interactive experience is worthwhile. That's his job, is creating interactive experiences. And just hearing him talk about, what he's doing and what he thought the future was, I mean, it just made me believe that is the way of interacting, of brands interacting with consumers in this two-way street of more of interaction, and taking advantage of that reward system that games like World of Warcraft and other MMOs and other video games out there take advantage of their players.
Well, exactly.
Tap into their players.
There was a video that came out about 4 or 5 months ago that basically was talking about social media gaming, very similar to what you're saying, and I'm going to try to rehash it here briefly from memory, and see if we can portray it. So he says, okay, so basically, in the future, everything's going to have, in the near future, everything's going to have location-based chips and these chips are able to identify things that are happening. For example, you have a chip in your toothbrush, and as soon as you put toothpaste on and you start brushing your teeth, you get 10 points because you brush your teeth. And these points are sent out to Colgate and to the toothbrush makers, and they're able to accumulate these points. And if you brush your teeth every morning or twice a day, you get 10 points plus 10 points plus 5 bonus points because you're able to do it twice a day. And if you do this for a week, you get bonus points for brushing all throughout. Now you go and you look at you go to your cereal box, and you're sitting there. And your cereal box has a motion detector, so when you're tipping your cereal box, and it registers that you're eating your cereal, and it's a high protein cereal. So not only do you get points for eating breakfast, because that's the government or whoever is monitoring this stuff wants you to eat your breakfast because it's good for your health. Plus, you're eating a good whole grain wheat cereal, so you get extra bonus points for that, and you get points from the manufacturer of the cereal that you can apply towards. As you get enough points, you can apply towards free stuff or discounts, as you said, for that cereal box. Now, on the back of the cereal box, there's going to be some actual fun. There's going to be interaction that you can do, and you can touch it, play with it. It's going to have little, like a display where you can go through and play games on there or discuss. It'll be attached to Twitter, Facebook, whatever the future holds. And there you can actually earn more bonus points. And you can apply this to school. Not only are you do you get good grades, and these grades will help you, but you also get bonus points for doing that. If you're practicing the piano.
JD, hold on. That's all well and good, but I'll give you the toothbrush thing might be possible, and I think it already is. But the cereal box thing, you're talking about manufacturing costs now. That's just not gonna happen.
No. I said the wrong thing.
You're gonna be buying like a $50 box of cereal.
Hey man, we're just brainstorming.
I'm not talking about the
now.
Right, and keep in mind CDs cost $4 back in the day, so $4 to create. Now they obviously are a lot cheaper. But again, you're right. I think that the way that it was described, and I'm again trying to regurgitate from memory 6 months ago, but it wasn't so much the tipping of the cereal box. I forgot exactly what he said in there, but it was brilliant, and it applies to work even. You go to work and you're able to clock into work, and as you clock in, you are on time, and you get bonus points for being on time. And if you're on time all week, you get even more points. And now you have all these points that are accumulating. These are like life points, and some of these points can be used, and you can actually utilize them almost like money, and other points are just used to help you get discounts or
But
to get cheap.
the thing is making
We're
it cool.
doing it already.
It's
We're
making
doing
it cool.
already.
Life
Yeah,
is a
but
game.
you know what's creepy about it?
already?
We're already
Well-
doing it with zero. I see people, and when I say we, I'm talking about we'll say, like you said, World of Warcraft or Xbox or any of these games that are actually fun games. If you look at some of the stuff that they do, they're able to get achievements based upon these games. Now you take it a step further, and we go back to last week's discussion about Foursquare. You
Foursquare.
get badges and you get points for checking in. You get, oh, this is your first check-in of the night. This is the first time you're at this venue. There's no incentive there. You get a badge that you can do absolutely nothing with, and yet people are getting hooked. Now, what if that became tangible? What if these games and the social interaction and these events that you're doing in life?
Well,
that
they
are
already are. They already are because with Foursquare and Facebook Places, they have deals now, like we were talking about last week. So the more loyal you are, you get a certain deal. The more friends you share with this specific venue, you get a deal. We are starting to integrate that slowly but surely. But the thing is this reminds me of like grade 2 when we would want to get that gold sticker or our name up on the board or so. Those, I don't know if you guys do it, but here in Canada, we would get stickers, like different sticker rating. Red was for a certain, I
What do you
guess,
mean,
group of.
What do you mean grade 2? I still get that at work. I get a sticker every time I come in.
I want one.
Yeah,
Look at
but
that.
see the human brain reacts to that stuff. That short-term success. That every we do something, we get something. We do something. Yes, is it spoiling us? Yeah, but it. As a business trying to reach consumers and trying to hook consumers, that's what hooks the brain, and that's why games like Foursquare, World of Warcraft, various games on Xbox Live with achievements. That's why they're hooking, because you want to get everything. You want to.
But you know what
want to
it,
get
you know
that
what it
quick
comes down
payoff.
to? Yeah, but you know what it comes down to? It comes down to if we look at social media, if we look at all these types of rewards that we're looking for, it just really comes down to, for whatever reason, at this point in time in this universe, we want to be acknowledged. We want to be acknowledged over and over.
We want something to
and
show
over.
for our hard work too.
Well, yes, but at the same time, it's like you don't necessarily have to have hard work writing a status update. You just want to be acknowledged. You want to be heard, and whatever reason, our society is tilted this way, because maybe perhaps we decided to go too technical, and everything was, let's separate this from that, and we don't sit down at the dinner table anymore, and that was the old days, and this is today, and I have no idea why we're writing on my wall. But okay. I hear you. That's brilliant. But I mean, I think, and what's happened is, our human innate selves, we're social people, that we can't help that. But slowly, I'm not sure if we're going to go towards being more social, if brushing our teeth, earning points, and everything's about points and acknowledgement, if we're going to become shut-ins and not actually really socialize in the outside world. And I think that we do have to find that fine line when we think of innovation. How is that going to still balance us? Because I think we went too far with technology. That's why we're going into social media.
We're going to build robots that are going to take care of us. We're going to be in floating chairs, and eventually our world will be destroyed, and we'll have to float out into outer space and leave little robots to clean up the mess and look for life.
That's what Yoon said. We could program robots to be our friend.
Is that?
Is that what? Is that what? Is that what?
I was trying to guess if that was from a movie.
It was. It was very bad. It's a movie that I haven't actually watched, so I can't really paraphrase it properly. But that's what kind of happened in Wall-E. Everybody.
I was about to say Wall-E.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I was trying to get the image. You were a little quick. I got it up now, though.
I don't know. I don't understand what you guys are saying about me talking too fast tonight. I don't know what it is.
You gotta lay
It's
off that
called
LSD,
Starbucks.
man.
No, this is Starbucks. I had 3 Red Bulls, and this is Starbucks number 2 of the day. So, speaking of which, right now I'm going so fast that I feel like saying that tonight's episode is brought to you by
Woo,
lightspeednow.com.
that was fast.
Lightspeednow.com. That fast.
It was so fast. It was the speed of light.
It used to be called the speed of light. Now it's called the speed of rock.
That's the future,
Gosh, what a
Katie.
show! Are we wrapping up?
I
Or
think let's borrow a phrase from our friends at the Drill Down. I think we've run the gamut.
We've run the gamut, which he hasn't run the gamut in months. I keep pointing it out to him, and he keeps forgetting. Yes, excellent show, guys. Thank you again. This is show number 64. And next week, on as we do almost every week, will be our last show for the next 2 weeks.
And
Because
we're at
we're
a
not gonna be
special time.
broadcasting.
We're also at a special time.
Oh, we
Yeah,
are.
we're also new time.
Next week,
We
we're going to
are.
be 2 hours earlier than normal at 8, right? 8
Math
Eastern.
is hard.
8 p.m. Eastern.
JD
No,
JD was clamoring, or just
5 o'clock
belting out
Pacific,
square roots and everything else.
Jesus, like,
That's
well,
why.
we're-
That's why Erin was slow to introduce herself, because she was still trying to catch up to his math.
I
She's like,
was.
1, 2, carry the
Yeah.
4,
Yeah.
5.
Yes, because we're starting 2 hours early because Jeff and I have some premieres to attend to. Little
Ooh,
later
what
on.
Say
premieres?
one.
What?
What
Hey,
is
man,
it?
Come on.
Which one?
Tell us.
Which one?
Virgo and I are going to be attending Hogwarts.
Yes.
Oh, I got you. So that's next week.
That's next week.
Wow.
They actually
That's,
I was watching it on YouTube earlier. They had the actual real premiere streaming live earlier today.
That's awesome. Well, good luck, guys. Have fun.
Yoon was suggesting that we should Google what 2 + 2 is next time I need some help.
So next week it's going to be 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, right?
That is correct. Excellent math. Yes. That's, well, no, I'm just saying. Well, no, she was able to get it right. Her go ahead and stop and think about it. Let's see. Carry the Harry Potter, and then.
I couldn't remember what time we were on at normally because we always get together at 9 o'clock. So I almost said whatever.
So yes, please, everybody, tell your friends, family, cohorts that they should attend next week's extra special episode number 65, the Hogwarts edition of the Social Blade Show, which we will be having 2 hours earlier at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and 9:30 p.m. if you were still in Newfoundland.
Right.
So those of you who are still in Newfoundland watching us, it will be at 9:30 your time, p.m. next Thursday. Then the following show after that will be not the next week, but the week after that, because we will be giving thanks. Correct?
Indeed.
Or did I?
No,
Yeah. So
that's
we'll be
correct.
giving thanks, and we will be thanking you all over turkey, except for Erin. She won't be thanking you over turkey. She will be thanking you over seal or whatever it is that they do on Thursdays. On whatever Thanksgiving. So
It'll just be a normal Thursday.
it'll just be a normal
We won't
Thursday
have
for her.
Social Blade. Darn it.
Erin may actually do a Canadian version of Social Blade on her own, where she just sits there and talks to her our Canadian viewers, since they won't be celebrating Thanksgiving with the Americans down below. So thank you guys. Thank you to all of you. This is a very lively and active crew. I was called out many times, and I appreciate that because I need that. It's good for the ego. Make sure to follow us, or fan us, or subscribe to us, or do whatever. Interact with us in some social way by going to Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube and following that with a /socialblade, twitter.com/socialblade, etc. And like us. We'll talk back to you. We're engaging. We like social media. You can go to our blog and suggest a guest. While you're there, you can view our past guests as well as read our social media, Social Blade style blog posts that we will be posting more of very, very someday. Thank you again to lightspeednow.com. Let me say that again. Lightspeednow.com. You can't. Exactly. It's funny. I'm actually getting questions. How is the show tonight? Well, it's going long, and I'm still on it. You can sign up for SMS alerts, not just of us, but also of our friends at Ask Outcast band on the web, which is hopefully, we're planning on having our revival show next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Pacific. Pat will be on his way to the playoffs, so we'll be able to go there, as well as the drill down at 9:30 Pacific, on Wednesdays. So Social Blade shows Thursdays, 7 p.m. except for next week. Ask Outcast is Tuesdays at 10 p.m. at 8 p.m. Eastern, and Band on the Web is Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern. The drill down is Wednesdays at 9:30 Eastern, and you can sign up for SMS alerts by going to j.mp/subus. That's SUBUS, j.mp/SUBUS. When you are out there preparing, getting into your best Harry Potter regalia, and preparing to go vote online, and hopping in your car so that you can tweet, just remember that we are Social Blade.